Yo, what is going on, guys? Fellings here. And today I'm going to be talking about the first time that I bought weed from a dispensary while underage. So to get into the story, I met this guy. He was actually the umpire of my baseball team, and I call him one time. I say, hey, can I buy about 2 grams? He's like, sure, how much you got? I say 20, and then he's like, alright, I'll be there in a few. I wait 30 minutes, he doesn't come, and then I call him on my phone, and he's like, oh man, sorry, I got busy doing something. Here, go to this spot, they'll take care of you. So I'm kind of skeptical of this place, and I go search it up on Google Maps. Keep in mind, this dude is sketchy as hell. He looks like a crackhead and has a mole on his left cheek. So I go and look this place up on Google Maps, and I look at this place, and it's kind of like in a plaza where you have to go in, but the Google car didn't actually drive into the place, so I only saw like the front of it, so I couldn't really see around into it. Well, not into the building, but to the side of the building. At that point, I'm kind of skeptical of it, so I just go to sleep. And then the next day, I'm like, oh shit, I really want to smoke because I have some friends coming over. So then I actually go and look the place up on Google one more time, and then I go out, I put on my clothes, I get dressed, I'm walking out, and this like 100 asshole degrees walking down my street, and then you kind of have to like go straight, and then you have to make a left, and then you make a left again, and then you get into the small little plaza. And keep in mind, this place is sketchy as hell. This place is so ghetto. When you actually walk into it, the building that I was gonna walk into had no signs, and then there was like a building on the right of it that had an open door, and it looked like a nightclub of some sort. To the left of that was the actual shop. Now the shop, it's all blacked out. They don't have anything on the front of it. It's just like a black curtain, and they have a little sign there, and then a little thing written on a piece of paper saying click and hold. And then I walk up to the place, I look at the door, and I see these like 3 Mexicans standing on the side, and he's like, hey, what are you looking for, kid? I'm like, I'm looking for E. He's like, the weed shop? And I was like, yeah. He was like, oh man, you got your rec card? I'm like, my what? Your weed card. And I was like, oh no, man. And then he was like, oh shit, dude, how old are you? And I'm like, 15. He's like, oh shit, dude, you gotta get out of here. And I was like, oh, okay, whatever. And then I start walking away, and then he's like, oh shit, man, I'm just playing with you. He was like, go ahead, click the button. So I clicked the button, and then as nervous as shit, I like kind of pulled the door open as hard as I can for some reason, and then the door is still locked. So it's like I fucking pull on it as hard as I can for some reason. And he was like, oh wait for it. And then he was like, bzzz, and then the door unlocked, and then I opened it and walked in. And this place is even more sketchier inside because they have like an inner wall. You walk in, and then there's another wall in there, and you got about 4 feet of room to walk up and down. And then they have like a nice window, but they have like these window guards, or those window bars over the window. And then I hear from the back a guy say, I'll be there in a second. So then after waiting for like a minute or so, he opens the door, and then he comes into the room behind the window bars, and then he sticks his hand out. He's like, hey. And then I'm like, he wants me to shake his hand, so I shake his hand. He's like, alright, sorry, man. A complimentary handshake for everybody. He's like, what are you looking for? I'm like, I'm a graphic designer, and I need something to fuck me up in the head. He's like, oh, I got you, bro. So he goes under the cabinet, and then he takes out this like tiny nug jar. I don't know how big it is, but he takes it out, and he pulls out a tiny bud, and then he hands it to me. He's like, here, take a whiff of that. So I smell it, and then it kind of burns my nose for a second. I'm like, oh shit, this stuff is so sour. He's like, yeah, that's our top shelf stuff. So I say, how much? And then he's like, alright, I'll give you, since you're new, I'll give you 10 for a gram. I'm like, okay, can I get 2 grams? And he's like, yeah, sure. So then he takes all the nugs, and he puts it on the scale, and he balances out 2 grams. And then I hand him the $20 bill, and he hands me the bud in a Ziploc bag. And I'm like, and then I go for another handshake, and he shakes my hand. And then I turn around, and then I take the Ziploc bag full of bud, and I stick it into my back pocket as I walk out the door. And keep in mind, I'm still sketched out as hell because I'm afraid of police officers are standing outside or some shit because they wanted to call the police on me. This was still a legal shop though. So as I walk out, I'm walking down the street, and then I start walking back up my street. What was going through my mind was that, are these guys thinking that I'm underage or something? I'm so scared. What if these people are following me? What if these people know where I live now? So I was still wired out as hell, but it's been about 6 months about that time, so nothing has happened, so I'm not worried. And then my friends came over that day, and then we had a relaxing day, a chill day, and yeah, so that's my story. Be sure to leave a like if you enjoyed, and if you didn't, you can go suck a dick. And if you'd like to see more, make sure to subscribe. Alright guys, peace out.